Greetings, church. I want to catch you up if you weren't able to attend our building update meeting this past Monday night. Some information that I want to be able to make sure that you are aware of. First and foremost, anytime we talk about facilities, it's always about God's mission. A building is never just a building, but the building is a tool for the purpose of God's mission in our community and the world. And so that's the larger conversation when we talk about this. I want to let you know that Pastor Mary's been working hard to maximize our benefits through SBA and FEMA. We are very likely receiving a low interest loan from SBA, and there's a good possibility of some grant money coming from FEMA, and Pastor Mary continues to work on that, and that's on their timetable, of course. In the meantime, we're also waiting out winter because we can't break ground this time of year anyway and get much done. And so it really is a good thing that the SBA FEMA process is playing out at the same time that we're in the season of winter. And hopefully both of those things resolve at the same time. Our contractor is ready for a green light to go forward. Whenever we give him the word, he'll put us in the queue with his other jobs, and then it's just a matter of the contractor's timetable then to get to us in 2022 as soon as he is able to. In the meantime, while we're letting those processes play out, I've been approached by some of the leadership at the Waverly First United Methodist Church about the possibility of them selling their building to us. They had a congregational meeting the same night that we had ours, and so all of the information went public at the same time. They shared 4 options for their future, and one of those options is to sell their facility to us. And one of the things I want to stress is that we love and respect the people in Waverly First United Methodist Church. They're our friends and our neighbors and some of our family members. And we want to respect the process that they're going through. And we want to pray for them for whatever God leads them to going forward in terms of them determining what is in their best interest. And so we want to respect their process and let it play out. One of those options is to sell to us, and if that did happen, we would have more space. We could do it for less cost, and we would be able to move into a building sooner rather than waiting for a building project to play out. So there's a lot of upside to it, but I want to caution us because a lot of things would have to happen for us to be able to do that. The congregation and their conference and their bishop would have to be on board, and obviously there are some things that would have to line up for us to do that. So this option of the United Methodist Church selling to us is a possibility, but it's not necessarily a probability. And so we need to be guarded about that and just see how it plays out. I know that you have a lot of questions. I want you to know that by exploring this, we are not wasting time because, as I said before, we're waiting for SBA and FEMA and winter to play out. As we do talk about this, though, I want to make sure that the story is accurate in terms of what it is that we're talking about. If we do this, we're not talking about a merger. That's not something that we feel led to do. And we're not talking about, as sometimes people say, a takeover. Such and such church is taking over such and such church. That's hostile language. And what we're talking about is not marching into some other church and in a violent way taking it over. But what we're talking about is simply a transaction, the sale of property from one congregation to another. And so in these days, I want to encourage you and invite you to join me and join us as a church in prayer. Let's pray for the Waverly First United Methodist Church that God leads them in the way they need to go. Let's pray that God opens the doors and leads us in the way that He wants us to go. And if that does end up being a closed door with Waverly First United Methodist Church, we have plans, we have land, we're going to be ready to go with the construction on our future facility. So a lot of questions, a lot of things we don't know yet, but that's the big picture of where we are. I invite you and I encourage you to join me in prayer as we continue to go forward.